Hockey is back in the odd, and it's going to be an exciting 2 days. Utica's going to face off against newcomer and first-time opponent Albertus Magnus. They haven't been in D3 long, only being in since the 1920 season where they started, but they've made good progress. They've had a few good years. They've definitely come up very fast, and looking at them, I mean, they've got a decent look right now. Wins over Skidmore and a win over St. John Fisher. That was a split with Chatham. A win against Connecticut College. You know, they are 10-5, but they do sport that loss to St. John Fisher 4-1. That was on the road. Both of those St. John Fisher games were on the road. One of their two losses against Chatham on the road. That was closer, 5-4. And then when they faced Geneseo at home, they lost 4-2 and 5-2. So I think as much as this team is good, this is a very good team, very good mid high level team. You know, their NPI comes in at 34th, right between Newman and Stevenson, and around teams like Tufts is a couple higher, Nazareth is a couple higher, Suffolk is a couple higher, and right below them are teams like MSOE, Fitchburg State, Connecticut College, Anna Marie, SJF, but they also are in 34th with a 52nd strength of 52nd strength of schedule, and their strength of win is a 0.11, or quality win is a .0114, or not .014, .114. So, not a ton of quality in their wins, but also they have fallen a game or two where I'd argue it brings them down a little, like that St. John Fisher loss. As much as St. John Fisher's a very, 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 very talented team coming in, they're not a Nazareth yet, or I'd necessarily be worried about them. But that's a discussion for next week, too. Because that's the next opponent, is St. John Fisher with a home and home. But this is a good Albertus Magnus team. They definitely got some players you have to watch out for. And Utica will always and forever get the best of everybody else. No matter who it is, no matter where they're from, no matter who they have on the team, no matter who's the coach, they get the best out of everybody. And Albertus Magnus is going to be no joke. Is going to be another one. So you can't sleep on them. But you also don't have to necessarily prep like they're Geneseo, because they're not. They're not at that level yet. Utica is also a team that is definitely on the rise. I pointed out pretty much this week, the first person to really mention it this week about Utica's now 7th. A couple weeks ago, they were in a spot where everyone had said the conference is probably the only way that Utica at the moment would get in. Now they are back in contending. If they do not make it in, if Geneseo manages to take that conference title, I don't know if they're gonna. It's gonna be close. It's gonna be very close. But if I'm Utica, I'm saying, why not us? Why not? And their strength of schedule did fall from 3 to 6, which it was at 3 earlier in the week, but it's still a very tough schedule, top 10 in strength, and Utica's come out with, they should be 11-4. They were robbed of the Hamilton game, and I think after the break, something seemingly clicked, and they look a lot different than they did against Genesee, or against Hobart, against Adrian. I think if they played now, it would be a different story, because they look different. They play different. They feel different. And this isn't a Utica team like years past where they're flashy, or it's about the 30 goal scorers. Or not 30 goal scorers, the 30-point getters, or the top 6 that's blowing everybody out of the water, or the defenseman that is shocking everybody and putting up a historic numbers. You're not really getting that. You're getting a team that doesn't play, flashy number hockey. You get, we look good on tape. We do what we need to do on tape. It seems like they're finally filling into the system, and they're taking it game by game, progressing game by game, taking steps game by game. And that is all you can ask for, is just them taking those steps game by game to be better than the last game. Because at the end of the day, you want to be better than before. And that's what they're doing. They're better. They're a lot better than they were at the beginning of the year. At the beginning of the year, they looked not nearly what the level they're on now. So I think and they just beat, Hobart, or not Hobart, Nazareth, I get it. Nazareth isn't a top team. They're getting there. But they had a top 10 defense. And Utica drops 5 and then 9 goals on them. 9 goals on the road against a top 10 defense. A team that allowed around 2.3 goals a game. Allows 5 and then 9. A team that beat Geneseo. Like this team, I feel like, is different in a way that I hope continues. Because I don't know. It's just, I can't explain it without pulling up tape and doing all that, And now Utica's offense, that at one point was hovering around 30 to 40th, is now 15th in the nation with 3.93 goals per game. In the last couple games, they had 5 power play goals to get their total up to 14. And their power play percentage has skyrocketed from what it was at, what was it? It was down to 12-ish%, 12.5% to 22%, which, okay, it's not the best in the nation, but it's maybe top 30. It's about top 30, I'd say. Like, this team offensively has finally started to get there, and I'm hoping it continues against everybody else. And defense-wise, they're 14th, allowing 2.20 goals per game, and their penalty kill percentage has jumped too. Their penalty kill percentage was around 78, I want to say, if I remember correctly. I said it in a previous video. Their PK percentage was around that. It's hovering around that, but actually no, I think it was lower than 78, but it was low. It's moving up. Their PK percentage is moving up. They didn't allow anything over the last 2 weeks. So it's one of those things of the team is doing something that, we didn't expect them to be where they are right now. We didn't expect them to be in the talks of, you're in the top 10 of NPI again. They look different. And they're not a loud team this year. They're not a team that's making noise like they normally do. Nick Ahern has 19 points. Gutter has 16. Sal Serrato, the freshman, has 12. They're not making a lot of noise. You're not seeing a lot of the talk that you normally would. But I think that's good. Because the less talk, the better. The less maybe it will be like the Utica this, Utica that, Utica this, Utica that, and hopefully it will put a chip on the shoulder of everybody who says, we're not going to be the talk now, but we're going to shock you and be the talk later. I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. I'm very excited for this game. Albertus Magnus has a couple guys to watch that may be a factor tonight. Obviously, Utica has their guys to watch. I don't know the lineup tonight because it's not going to be out for another 2-ish hours because I'm recording this about 3:15. So, it won't be out for a while. So, I don't know who is where doing what. I don't know if Brighton is still out. I don't know why Brighton is still out or Longhe. I think Brighton being out hurts a little bit, but I don't know what it's gonna look like. Who's gonna be in that? I expect probably a split this weekend if Coach Heenan feels good about these games, like he split against Naz. He put Murphy in for the second game, although that was a different circumstance because it was a week later. I still think you're gonna see Murph at least once. I honestly expect it, and who knows? Maybe Murph sees. I don't think he will, but maybe Murph sees both games. It wouldn't be out of the realm for Coach Heenan, honestly. Uh, Looking at it, I don't know, but Albertus Magnus coming into this game to watch. You have guys like Bertamini, the senior defenseman. He leads their defenseman in points, and he leads the team in assists, 10 assists, 13 points. And then you have Justin Sullivan, the freshman, with 13 points, who is leading the team, tied with Zane Kindrachek. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, with 8 goals. So they've got some talent among their team. They've got some guys who can put the puck in the net, who can do some things. I'm assuming. Let me check the goalie tandem because I don't know who plays the most. It's either going to be Hale or Jackson. It'll probably be Hale. So it looks like Utica will likely see Chance Hale tonight. Yep. Utica will likely see Chance Hale, who's gotten the lion's share of the last season, plus had 16 games last season, plus has played 14 so far this season. He has 41 goals allowed, 903 save percentage, 3 goals allowed average, and he's a 9-5 record. So we'll see, and no shutouts. So we'll see tonight how he plays. He was in net for Geneseo, for St. John Fisher, for Chatham, for Trinity. So, I mean, we'll see. He's played some of their tougher games, and in those against Geneseo, he allowed 3 and 5. Against Western Connecticut, he allowed 4. Against St. John Fisher, he allowed 3 and 2. Against Chatham, he allowed 5 and 2. And against Trinity, he allowed 5. So, he usually allows 2 or 3. Against Utica, I expect if Utica can get off to a hot start, he allows more. If they get in the box, I expect Utica to start firing quick. And this will be an interesting game. I expect Utica to go out there and play a really good game, but I also expect Albertus to go out and give them a tough game. So it's going to be about how does Utica start? Do they start very well? Do they get a lot of power plays out of the gate? And do they stay out of the box? Do they leave it to their 5-on-5, or do they have to do a lot with their special teams? I don't know. I can't see the future. I wish I could, because I'd love to know this. That would honestly be amazing to know. But I can't, sadly, know. I did want to check penalties quick. So it seems like Albertus Magnus has had 92 penalties this year. And in PIMS, they have the 7th most, with 247. They allow 16.47 penalty minutes a game. Oh, no, that's penalties a game. Whoa. So, Albertus Magnus is a top 5 team in terms of penalties. They will be in the box likely a lot this game. The next 2 games. And Utica, surprisingly, is... Did I go by him? I probably went by him. Yeah, Utica's in the lower half and penalties, which is expected, and a lot of that is, at least penalty minutes, a lot of that is, and the penalties themselves, is going to be the Newman game. The Newman game gave them a lot. Without that, they're even lower. So, Utica should hopefully handle this tonight. I expect a lot from Serrato again. My breakout candidate of the year. I called it. He's playing great. I love it. Could be a big productive night from the gut line again, because if that thing gets going, it doesn't stop, and it'll go all weekend. And because Gut, Ahern, and depending on who's winging with them, probably McMillan if he plays, which I love that pairing of three. That'll click. And Kuznetsov, who has a point in every game since joining, let's hope he pulls it out of between the legs, because wow, that was a fantastic goal. If that kid continues to progress and stays in Utica, he's going to be fantastic. Anyways, you know who I am. Go Pioneers. Good luck to the boys. Travel safe, everyone going out this weekend. It's supposed to snow Sunday morning. I don't know if Saturday night. But be careful. It's been windy and cold, and the wind chill sucks. So anyone going out earlier, even just going out, drive safe, please. And see you later.